Does this feng shui stuff really work? And will it really change my business? Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Amanda Gates, and I'm so excited to share with you an interview that I did today with one of my clients, Bethany. The reason that I wanted to have her on the show is that I often have people on the show that are dealing with partnership issues or they're having health issues, but rarely do people consider feng shui as a possible solution to a business. The reason that Bethany wanted to work with me is that they were struggling. She and her husband have a graphic design business that they run out of their home, and they were really struggling to get the right kind of clients. And they were also struggling to communicate with one another. And she was curious about this thing called feng shui. She wasn't really sure what it was, and she wasn't really sure that it would help her, but she was definitely curious about it, and she wanted to try it. She thought if there was anything that could really help shift the energy and get the alignment right, it could possibly be this design that's energy aligned. So she called me in to take a look at her floor plan and to see, really transform the problems that they were experiencing. Here's the really cool thing about feng shui is that a lot of times people think that I go in and I move furniture, or I go in and I help them, clean up the clutter, and then that's what's going to make the change. The cool thing is that a lot of the issues that we experience in our life are often written in our floor plan. That's right. It's in our floor plan. And so when I was able to look at her floor plan, I could see that she was experiencing issues with finances, and possibly one thing after another, where finances were going in and then going right back out. And I could also see that she was probably not getting really the quality of clients that she needed that was based around her front door and how they were using it, and that they clearly were not getting the communication across, whether it was between she and her husband and also their clients. It was all written in their floor plan. But here's the thing that's really great about these interviews. I so often tell all of my listeners and my audience about these amazing transformations that my clients have. What I think is so great about this style of interview is that I talk a lot about on the podcast and also on this YouTube channel, the amazing transformation that my clients have and what they experience. But it's very one-sided, right? You're hearing it from me. And of course I'm going to be excited about it and tell you about all these amazing things because I love it too. But what about the clients? How do they really feel about feng shui, and what is their experience around it? Are they truly getting this amazing transformational shift in their life? Are they truly experiencing miracles? Well, today you're going to find out, and you're going to hear it directly from Bethany, her experience around feng shui, how it's changed her life, and what it's done not only for her personal life, but also the success of her business. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome to Home Energy Design. I'm your host, Amanda Gates, and I'm so excited to share with you a great client job that I have been helping Bethany with. Welcome to the show, Bethany.
Thank you for having me.
One of the reasons that I wanted to have Bethany on is we help a lot of people with all kinds of different things, but one of the things that Bethany actually had hired us to do is to help her with her business. She and her husband work out of their home, and so I took a look at their floor plan, and there's definitely a lot of things that were popping up, not only from their floor plan about just issues that could pop up in their business and overall financial abundance, but there were a couple of other things as well. And so I'm curious, before you had hired us to come in and take a look at these things, what were your thoughts around feng shui?
I really only knew it as the furniture in your house is supposed to be in certain places, and that makes it where your life is better somehow. There's definitely way more layers to it, way more parts of it that I didn't even know were involved in it. And so to see how these changes that you've done not only are effective at the beginning, it kind of takes time for it to seep into your life. And so it's way more than just furniture placement,
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions that we hear all the time is that when I ask people what they think Feng Shui is, it's usually clutter and getting rid of clutter in your life, or it's this idea of moving furniture around. Or one of my favorites that I got from a class many years ago was this guy popped up in the back and he was like, "Oh, that's where you put Asian decor all over your house."
It's always like everyone thinks it's just like an Eastern thing and just that's it, but there's just so many more layers to it.
Yeah, I think what's fun about it is that, as our team and I, we start to work on a project, we start asking very strange questions like, where's this door, and what's the shape of your lot, and how do you enter here, and what's up here, and how low are your ceilings, and it seems like all of these random questions, but what's important about a floor plan and the environments that we live in is that it really shows up in our life in unusual ways, and so many people don't look at their homes as a possible solution to things that are going on. So some of the things that I saw in Bethany's floor plan, one of the things, like I said, she and her husband really wanted to kind of boost their business and kind of up-level everything. And one of the things that really stood out to me was that there's no access to her front door. And so a lot of people that follow us, you hear me talk about the top 5 disruptors all the time, and number 1 is that front door. And so what were your thoughts around the front door before learning about it being the mouth of Qi and how important it was, and your homework was to open your front door every day?
Yes, and I began doing that. It's awesome because we have a glass door, so there's no bugs coming in and stuff like that. But I had never really thought of it. It was just, it's the gate and then the yard, and it's not convenient. It's not easy for us to get into. We always get the back door in because that's where the driveway is. So once we started to do that more often and come in through the front door and have it open, it kind of subconsciously reminded me about when you do open it, it can open it to new opportunities, new clients, new ideas. And so I think it was more of a subconscious reminder of having that. And when you think those thoughts, they start to come to fruition, so.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And we actually hear that a lot from clients. They'll talk about it's a gentle reminder if they see a crystal or pass a mirror or use their front door. And just to reiterate, our front door is our mouth of Qi, and so it's very important because this is where our homes get all of their vitality. This is literally where all of the nutrition for your home enters. And so in Bethany's case, they actually had a fence that was around their front door, and she actually used the word that it was inconvenient and it was hard to get to. So it's essentially like having your mouth wired shut. And so if you can't get nutrition to your own body, what happens? You aren't as healthy. You start to deteriorate, you lose weight. And so it's very similar to your own home if you can't get that nutrition there. And so Bethany started to, like she said, open her door every day. She started to make those changes. You've also done some landscaping. And so I think it's a great reminder, like you said, to just kind of think about on a subconscious level, like, this is what I'm doing. What are some changes that started to occur for you? What are some things that started to shift in your business because of that?
I was actually talking to my husband about that this morning. I think one of the gradual changes that we really saw was us being able to communicate better in business. Because being around your spouse 24/7 and also working with him, we live and work together, and it's awesome. I love it. I wouldn't change it for a thing, but there were times where we just were really butting heads in our communication just to get simple facts to each other about a client or a task or something like that. And I noticed that changing our communication was starting to become better. We weren't, snipping at each other. We were listening to each other instead of waiting to say the next thing. And that kind of actually trickled down to some of our clients too. We would kind of, when we wanted to jump in and say something or interject, we would sit back and listen to them, And so I feel like that was a really big part of it that's been beneficial to us.
And a shift.
Mm-hmm. Another thing too was we feel like we've started to get more clients that have a more positive attitude, a more positive outlook in life. And you don't think that if you have a negative person around you that it's going to affect you that much if it's just every now and then, but they really can drag you down, and just latch onto you. So it's great to have people that are more upbeat and really into what they're doing, because then that makes you excited to be doing what you're doing too. So
without a doubt, those above the cross emotions, as we call them. And one of the things that Bethany mentioned was this idea of communication and listening. And so when we look at the Bagua map and when we place that on the home, the individual guas actually represent different things. A lot of times we look at it, and so in your case, you were missing wealth. And so we look at that and we say, okay, well, then that means that they're having financial issues. Well, it actually goes much deeper than that. When we're looking at that corner, yes, it does, it's indicative of financial stuff, but it's also indicative of listening. So it's the gua of, when we look in the I Ching, it is actually the gua of wind. And so wind is penetrating, and it's this idea of being able to carry communication to one another. And then your front door is hearing. It's ears.
See, it all works together.
So that's how it all starts to come together. And that's why having a better understanding of your floor plan is so important, because by understanding these things and understanding these elements, we can see and have an idea as to why these things are showing up. And I think it also is a great validation of you're not going crazy. It's not because, we tend to want to look at these external things like, oh, well, it's because we work together all the time.
Yeah.
It's actually in your floor plan that, there was a lack there. And I think that that's one of the beauties of being able to look at Feng Shui and see how these things kind of are so interlaced, and how it can, like you said, that gradual change.
Yeah.
It just very slowly starts to release, and the subconscious, with both of you probably experiencing this as the energy shift. And then also experiencing it with their clients. Not only does your floor plan influence the energy that you have, but your floor plan also influences your clients. And so when that started to lift up and you two are communicating better, your vibration changes. And so then you start attracting clients that also listen, that also communicate. So it ends up having this, ripple effect, so to speak. I'm curious, where your thoughts were on what Feng Shui was, even a year ago versus what it is now. What's kind of your thought process on that? What do you think of it now?
Well, I've gotten like you mentioned, I see, because I have the crystals hanging in multiple parts of the house. I think it's 3 parts. So I see those, and it's that reminder. I have my crystal collection now that, I have certain ones placed around the house to help remind me of certain things. And so I feel like instead of it, like I said earlier, being just the furniture in certain places and blah, 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 it really is not only an energy change in your house, it's an energy change in yourself. And it is a gradual thing. It's not instantaneous overnight. Everyone wants that, but to have that have a gradual change and shift your perspective, it really is. It is life changing. It really is, having an energy clearing like that. So it's. I would highly recommend it if anyone ever is thinking about getting it, because it has made tremendous improvements in my life and the business life and my husband's life. So
I love that. I love hearing stories like that. And I love that you brought up that it's not instantaneous. I think a lot of times, people will get any type of energy work or any type of thing that's a little bit not tangible. There's this thing that's kind of outside the realm. And when we're talking about interior design, there's a physical improvement. There's a physical, tangible thing that you can see, and there's a specific time that's going to happen. And with energy work, it can literally, your sister experienced it.
Yeah, that one
very
was
quickly,
like crazy. It was like a couple weeks, Yeah.
Instantaneous. And but for most people, it is kind of gradual, and it's really this. It's almost like the universe wanting you to take like stepping stones, to like we don't want to like bang you up against the head. Let's gradually do this together and do it softly.
But that's also, it makes the journey a lot better when you look back at it. You know, it's these little steps that we took, or just the universe shifting. Yeah, it's just makes the journey sweeter.
And I love that you're starting to get into crystals and you've started an altar. I talk a lot about, you know, the importance of an altar and having a space. I think that it's great that you're talking about how the individual adjustments are a gentle reminder of, oh yeah, that's there for a reason, and that's, you know, to do this. But also this idea of setting up an altar where, and that can be anything. It doesn't have to be, you know, A plus B equals C. An altar is just a space where you have items that you covet and you visit them often, and it just kind of helps solidify your intentions. And so I love this idea that you've gotten into that. I know that your mom has gotten into that as well. And what's that experience been like for you to, you know, connect with, you know, I think that they are just such beautiful sacred objects, but what's that been like for you, taking that journey with stones?
My mom actually got part of my collection for me. And so, you know, when she got it and we were opening it and looking at each one and just going over what each quality that they had, and it was just a bonding moment, you know. And so it's fascinating how, you know, people look at it, oh, it's just a pretty stone, but no, there's this deeper energy within it, you know, that has these qualities that could be anything from strengthening love to health to helping you sleep, you know. So really researching that and seeing what each stone does. And I had a small surgery last year, and I took one of the stones to the hospital with me, you know, just to have that as a, you know, kind of to ground myself and make it where I wasn't so nervous, because I looked it up and that was one of the things, is it helped with healing and stuff like that. So it's just fun to learn about how these stones have these different qualities about them.
And really to introduce that into your environment as well. To, again, it's just another gentle reminder of health, healing, well-being.
And I have a rose quartz like next to a picture of me and my husband from our wedding for love, you know, to like help spread that and get that quality stronger, you know. So.
And it's such a great reminder too, when we're talking about the above and below the cross emotions. Stones are such a gentle reminder to stay in those uplifted, positive vibes, basically. And, you know, if you can stay in that place, again, it just kind of comes full circle where you're attracting all the goods in life and really bringing all the goods, whether it's in health, love, family, supportive people in your life, whatever it is for you. It just is a gentle reminder to bring all that in. If you were to explain to someone your journey about what it's been like to not only do Feng Shui, but just really, you know, I've seen a major shift in you in the last year, just in how you have approached the woo side of life. What would you say to someone who's maybe curious or not really sure about this, you know, woo side of life?
I would say, you know, why not try it? You know, you don't know for sure it's going to work for you, but I have gotten nothing but great things happen for me, my sister, my mom and dad, all the clients I hear about from you that are just take this and actually make it a part of their life, and it makes their life better. So I would say, why not try it? You know, if you're curious about crystals or the stones, get a couple of them, place them around your house, see if it makes it where you start thinking about those things subconsciously, like you were saying, that it will kind of help change your attitude and how you look at things in life.
And experiment.
Yeah, experiment with it, you know, and if it's not for you, and that's fine, but I really think that people can tweak it to make it be for them. You don't have to be sitting there with crystals all over you.
But you can.
You can if you want to, go for it, you know, but just have one or two. If you think it's a little, it's not weird. I really think it's fun, and you can make it, you can be extreme with it, or you can dial it back and just let it be your little thing. But I would definitely try it just as a different way to kind of look at life and live your life, you know.
And I love the idea of why not, you know?
Yeah,
why not just try
why
it?
not? Yeah.
Why not? Okay, rapid fire time.
Oh, these ones, yes.
What's one of your favorite but weird things to do?
See, I used to be able to say yoga, but that's not weird anymore.
Not weird anymore.
I know, it used to be the weird thing.
We'll go to the next one.
Yeah, that one. I failed on that one.
Your mom said that you wouldn't have a book, but you would have some, like a Kindle on your phone or an Audible account on your phone. So what book are you reading right now?
You really want to know? Yeah. I'm rereading the Harry Potter series.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. All right, and we'll cap off on this. If you were to encourage somebody to do one thing in their home that could possibly change their environment or uplift their spirits in some way, other than stones, what would you recommend that they do?
Does a salt lamp count as a stone?
Absolutely.
Does it count as a stone though?
No, that would be a great one.
Yeah, I have 3 salt lamps in the house. And I love just the light that they give off. It's so relaxing, and I have it on almost as my night light every night when I go to sleep. And you're the one that suggested it to me, but it really you can explain it better, but it just really kind of like makes the energy kind of neutral or neutralizes it, so it's not like raw or you know. Yeah, so definitely the
I'm like the queen of woo. I get everybody into the weird stuff.
Yeah.
But salt lamps are great.
So
if you work from home, which you guys do.
Yes, and around computers.
Yes.
And the printer and electronics, and yeah, there's one downstairs with all of that too.
If you have a lot of electronics, it puts off a lot of positive ions in your environment. And so what a salt lamp can really do is it puts out a lot of negative ions, and it just helps absorb a lot of that positive stuff, so that we've talked a lot about EMF on the show. We've talked about EMF in our homes, but how bad the dirty electricity and the EMF can be in your environments, and that can affect your mood. It can affect how you feel, and a salt lamp is a terrific addition to that. Bethany, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No
I always love having clients on and hearing about their experiences with Feng Shui and energy work and just this world of woo. And not everybody wants to come on camera, so thank you so much for saying yes for this.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. I am your host, Amanda Gates. Thank you for joining us on Home Energy Design. This is my client, Bethany. I'm so glad that she said yes so that you could experience Feng Shui through her eyes and what a healing environment can do for you. If you like the channel, hit the button below and subscribe. If you don't like us, be sure to subscribe because you need this information more than all of us. If you would like more information, you can go to gatesinteriordesign.com, and if you'd like to reach out to us, you can email us at letschat@thegatescompany.com.